Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we're going to talk about this interview with Charlamagne and Kamala Harris because it got really heated, and I got to give respect to Charlamagne for asking tough questions and not letting her back down off of it. It was pretty funny to watch her squirm. She actually had to get her assistant to try to pop in and save her because we all know Kamala Harris is one of the most unqualified people to ever hold any significant office we have ever seen. We saw her get embarrassed in the debates by Tulsi Gabbard. We've seen her laugh her way through tough questions. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Whenever she talks, she sounds completely drunk and completely aloof to everything going on. During this entire interview on Charlamagne's channel, you can go over to his, I'll leave a link to this video. You can go check out the entire video. It went about 20 minutes. And he was consistently pressing her. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Charlamagne, but you got to give him credit for having this interview and asking the tough questions and holding her accountable for the disaster known as Joe Biden. So we're going to listen in right here where he starts holding her accountable. She is just not good at what she does. She is not smart. She is not qualified. She is very awkward. And everything she says, she sounds completely drunk because that is Kamala Harris. Here we go.
Okay, what happened to that student loan money? What happened to the $10,000 promised to the students for student loan debt? Why did they renege on that?
So I know you had Secretary Cardona on recently, and I'll tell you, he is working to increase relief for students. And look, I get it. I get the issue that you're talking about. I had student loans. I mean, look, it's right now we have so many people, tens of millions of people in the United States who are dealing with student loan debt and responsibilities, and it's standing in the way of them being able to start a family or buy a home. And it's real, and we need to deal with it. I remember, I'm gonna date myself, but I had that little coupon where I'd have to pull out the coupon and
what does any of this have to do with the question that was being asked? Nothing at all.
Put in the number and send a check with it every month. And that's real. That is real.
We need you to be the superhero that saves democracy. Somebody has to push back on Joe Manchin. That guy is stopping progress. He's ruining democracy. Are you willing to be that superhero? Because what scares me is if voting rights don't pass, or the Build Back Better plan doesn't pass, or police reform doesn't pass, I doubt you're going to get black people to go out there and vote in 2022 and 2024, and, Trump will be president again. What's the plan for all of that?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more on the seriousness of these issues and how people take these issues seriously. And so we're going to have to...
She's too dumb to even realize, like, all through this interview, Charlamagne has trashed Joe Biden. He's just trashing Joe Biden. And she's too dumb to even realize it because that is who she is. It's so funny.
Keep fighting. On voting rights, we need to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. We need to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and be relentless about pushing for that, which is what we have been doing and what I certainly am going to keep doing. We need to keep pushing for what we got to do to really reform the system that we know needs to be reformed with the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. But, again, Republicans stood in the way to get that done. So what did we do? Well, through the Department of Justice, we banned chokeholds and carotid holds. We said that law enforcement at the federal level, where we have the power to do it without Congress, that they have to...
None of this has anything to do with the question that Charlamagne asked her. Just for the record, this is all about virtue signaling. Earlier she brought up January 6th to dodge a question that he asked her because she just runs through the NPC talking points. She has no idea what's going on. She has literally no idea what's going on.
Wear body cameras when they're serving warrants. We put in place investigations of police departments.
What does this have to do with what he asked you?
Now. We are supporting consent decrees. So we are doing those things in the face of Republican opposition, but we cannot give up. None of us can. And the reality is, because the issues are too serious and they impact everybody every day, and I agree with you. They're very serious.
Who's the superhero that's going to speak against Joe Manchin, though? I want to know who's the real president of this.
See, he's asking now. He's pressing her on the actual question now, and her assistant comes in, and and Kamala just looks completely. Look at her face right there. This woman has no idea what's going on. So here's Charlamagne doubling down. Actually, this is more. This is like the 6th time he's actually taken a shot at Joe Biden, and at no point has Kamala wanted to defend or even acknowledge what Charlamagne is saying to her because she's that dumb.
Hero that's going to speak against Joe Manchin, though. I want to know who's the real president of this country. Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
I'm sorry. I interrupted. I don't think the vice president can hear you. It's Simone. I'm so sorry, Charlamagne. We have to wrap.
She can hear me.
You can hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Madam Vice President?
So I'm sorry. We got to wrap.
Oh.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, so who's the
I
real?
can hear you.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlamagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. And the reality is, because we are in office, we do the things like the child tax credit, which is going to reduce black child poverty by 50%, on track to do that.
This has nothing to do
We
with...
do things that are about saying that our Department of Justice is going to do these investigations and require that we end chokeholds and have body cameras. It is the work of saying we're going to get lead out of pipes and paint because our babies are suffering because of that. It is the work of saying people who ride public transit deserve the same kind of...
Imagine being a Democrat and claim that you care about babies. My goodness, this woman is out of touch.
dignity that anybody else does. So let's improve that system. It is the work of saying that we have got to bring down prescription drug costs because folks who have diabetes should not be dying because they don't have enough money in their pocket.
None of this
It's
addresses
about
this question.
Black maternal
None of this.
mortality is a real issue that must be treated by everybody, including the White House, as a serious issue. I hear the frustration, but let's not deny the impact that we've had and agree also that there is a whole lot more work to be done. And it is not easy to do, but we will not give up, and I will not give up.
I just want you to know that Madam Vice President, that Kamala Harris, that's the one I like. That's the one that was putting the pressure on people in Senate hearings. That's the one I'd like to see more often out here in these streets. Thank you for joining us, Madam Vice President.
I'm glad to be with you.
Absolutely.
Glad to be with you.
No
Appreciate
shame.
you. Give Maya my
All right.
love too, and Doug.
All right, you take care. Give your family my love. I want to see those babies.
Absolutely.
So, look, at the end of the day, you got to give him credit. You've got to give him credit for, holding her accountable. And did anyone notice when her assistant was popping in, her assistant had a mask on? Yet, Kamala not wearing one, but her assistant was. I don't know exactly where that was, but I want to say it was like right around here. But yeah, her assistant had a mask on. And yet Kamala's sitting there with no mask on. There was a January 6th comment too she made.
And there's in places like Montana, passing legislation to make it difficult for students to vote, Native Americans, the Constitution, the system. And who is doing that? Let's not forget what happened on January 6th.
That's right.
There was a mob that attempted a coup that with force and violence took over our nation's capital to prevent the declaration of an election where the people have voted. These are the things that are happening, and I just want to urge us to really see where the attacks are coming.
So that's kind of the gist of it. Like I said, I don't want to show the whole interview because, look, you can go over to Charlamagne's channel right there if you want to go check out the whole interview. Like I said, regardless of how I feel about Charlamagne, I have nothing but respect for the interview because he asked her tough questions and he didn't back off of his point. She was too dumb to realize that he was continuing to take shots at Joe Biden, and I know she wasn't too dumb to realize it. It's more so that she just wasn't going to address it, and he finally just point blank pressed her on it. And then, of course, one of her assistants has to hop in, the assistant wearing a mask in the room where Kamala is not wearing one. Ultimately, it gave Kamala an opportunity to compose herself and to kind of think about what she had to say instead of being completely caught off guard by it, by him doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it. This woman's an embarrassment. It is truly embarrassing that someone as unqualified as her, that was completely embarrassed by Tulsi Gabbard in the debates during the Democratic primaries and all of that. It is embarrassing that this is the result of identity politics, but that's exactly what it is. Kamala Harris is in this position because of identity politics. It's not because she's qualified. It's not because she earned it. It's not because she won over voters. It's because of identity politics. That's it. And, her and Joe Biden are a complete joke and a complete embarrassment. But if you want to go check out that entire video, feel free to do that. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I do appreciate that. Appreciate all your support over here on this channel. We'll continue to cover the disaster known as the Biden-Harris administration. Other than that, thank you guys. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.